Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about basically is how big is too big. You know, when will you have enough size to be satisfied with? And basically bodybuilding is one of those sports where there's never enough. You can never satisfy that what they call it bigorexia, that same thing that Rich Piana had. It's like the reverse of anorexia, where a person who's very large tends to see themselves as being small, even though they're incredibly huge, like Rich Piana was. And that right there is more of a mental illness, and that pretty much comes from the overwhelming desire to just be big in this particular sport. So you have to always watch and monitor yourself and not let other people push you to the point to where you lose track of you. And basically that's what this guy ended up doing, Rich Piana. He ended up losing who he was. And most bodybuilders today are always chasing the next biggest body. You know, a lot of this stuff started with Ronnie Coleman winning the Mr. Olympia. But you're looking at a person who had a naturally big body, and getting even bigger was easier because that's his genetic trait, is to get bigger. And everybody's chasing that, you know, whether they can be that size or not. Yeah, even the current Mr. Olympia, the only thing he has is basically great shape, nice lines, and he's tending to lose those things by trying to get larger. Phil Heath is maxed out as far as size is concerned. He can't get any bigger, and his main thing should be trying to maintain his lines, his curves, his tightness. But again, because of the way the sport is designed, it's constantly pushing them for more and more. And the human body has a limit as to how big it can get, even with drugs. I mean, you're gonna pretty much destroy yourself trying to increase your size on a regular basis. Ronnie Coleman was able to do it, but even at the end of his career, he pretty much maxed out on size, you know, to where he probably would, you know, end up looking funny trying to get even larger than what he was, because he was a super large human. And also Jay Cutler, you know, was a big guy, so it was easy for him to get big. Everybody don't have that same genetic potential, and you have to realize that when you're working out. Being natural is even more prevalent, simply because you can only get as big as your genetic potential is, and you won't know that until you try. But when is big enough? When is big enough? When will you have enough? You got to have something in your mind to say, hey, that's enough. I'm at a good size and I'm happy with where I'm at, no matter what nobody else thinks. And the only guy that I know that's kind of around that area is Dexter Jackson, because Dexter Jackson, no matter how big they want him to get, he won't risk losing his lines and his shape in order to try to get even larger. You know, everything he do is minimalistic size, minimalistic gains, or extra 5 pounds, or extra 3 pounds. You know, all of that stuff is minimalistic with him, because he have a greater value, and that's himself. Until you have that, then you're gonna always overdo. And people that overdo always end up dead. That's just the way it is. So that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. To give you something to think about. When is big enough? Only you know the answer to that. Again, hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel. And again, thanks for watching.